Hello friends. So welcome you all to AI Ki Pathshala. I am Anup and today is the third session on the function in the Python series of programming. So this whatever session I am conducting, this is a live session and this is absolutely free of cost. Whosoever is present here has come just because they are passionate about learning AI, Python and other stuffs related to AI. So if anyone wants to join me for my free live sessions, which I often conduct every day, almost 5 to 6 days in a week at 10 p.m. IST, you can go to the description section of the video and join my Telegram room. So let's start. I will be sharing you my screen and here we go. I suppose my screen is visible to all of you. May I get a quick yes or no?
Yes, yes, it's clear.
So let me first take a INB file. And one another thing that I would like to tell you that see, you try to clear all your doubts in the class. If suppose you want that your doubts are not get cleared in the class, so you can message on the group. If you are not comfortable in messaging something in the group, you can message me personally in my WhatsApp or Telegram anywhere, and we will then set some time and connect one to one and solve your whatever doubts or query you will be having. I will try to solve that. Is it fine? So now let's so last time we have discussed about variable length argument and variable length keyword argument. So today I'm going to discuss you something very important, and this is actually very important, which is called scope and lifetime of a variable. Scope and lifetime of a variable. So I'm going to explain you this with the help of a program. This is a very simple program that I would take here, and I will explain you with the help of that. So let's see. First, I'm going to define one function. Let's define one function def. Let's say add underscore num. And let's define a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6. And what I want, let's return c is c. Let us run a plus b. Let's say a plus b. I suppose this program is a very simple program and you all of you have understood this. So let's write this program and let's call this function add underscore num. When I call this function, I get 11. Now see, when I have defined this function add underscore num, inside this function, I have defined two variables. One is a, and I have assigned the value inside that variable. A is equal to 5 and b is equal to 6. And this is the return thing, and I have added this variable and I got the return value 18. Now see, this variable is a and this variable is b. And I am getting Now let's see here, if I write print A comma print B. Let's say, what according to you, if I will write here this thing and run this program, what will happen? Any one of you? Let's do the same thing here. Just copy it and paste it here. And let's do the same thing here. And now let's this program. I am getting an error. Why I am getting the error? Because whatever I have written here till here, this is a function. This is a function. And this variable which I have written here is inside this function. I have defined this variable inside this function. And here I am adding these two variables inside this function only. So this variable has a scope, has a local scope. The scope of these two variables A and B is limited to this function only. This function can be accessed inside this function only. Sorry, this variable can be accessed, these two variables A and B can be accessed outside the function, inside this function only. If I try to access this function, variable outside this function, it will throw me an error. Why it is throwing me an error? Because this variable is not present outside this function. This variable has a limited scope. It is called the global scope. It has a global, it is called a local variable. Here, let's write local variable. This is also local variable. This is also local variable. Why it is local variable? Because its scope is limited inside this function only. And when I'm trying to print this variable and see here, I'm outside this function. Am I fine? Is it right? I'm outside this function here. And the outside the function, when I'm trying to print this variable, I'm getting an error because this variable is not present outside my function. It is present only inside this function. If let's say here, if I change it, print A, let's say if I write print A, and then if I write print B, let's say here, print B, and if I run this, and if I let's put it, just comment it, and if I run this, I'm not getting an error. Now if I call this function add underscore num and simply call this function, I will get 5, 6 and this sum. Why this 5 and 6 is coming? Because inside this function I have written this statement print A, so I am getting 5 here, print B, so I am getting the 6 here, and I have returned A plus B, that's why I am getting this 11. But let's say here, if I want to print A, I will get an error. A is not defined. Is this thing clear to you or not? Please, guys, yes or no? Quick yes or no?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Fine. Ruchi, you?
Yes.
Okay. इतना दबी दबी आवाज में क्यों यस कह रहे हो? थोड़ा बोल्ड से इन ए वेरी बोल्ड एंड दिस वॉइस. यस, I got it.
Now
Otherwise, say no.
I'm getting an
Yes.
error when it is under the
What?
when it is written under the function only. Why it is getting an error again?
I'm not getting what you are saying. Please tell me again.
I'm saying, is my voice is audible now?
Yes, now it's fine. Earlier it was a bit low.
I'm saying when it is under the function only,
Okay.
then again why we are getting error? Why? Why we are getting error again?
Where?
When it is written under the function.
Under the
This print A. This
this
print
thing?
A.
This thing?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
thing? See,
Yeah.
this
The
is
current one.
okay. Okay. See, you have not, you should have understood this till now, but again, let me see. See, this is my function. This line is the definition of my function, and this is the name of my function. And my function body starts from here. Is it fine? The body
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the function starts from here. So whatever is coming inside this function, it has a scope of this. Indentation of this thing, and this is outside my function. This is not inside my function. This is below this function. That means indentation of this function and this is same. Say the indentation of this and this is same. Whatever I
Okay.
am writing inside this function, their indentation is different. See, indentation is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
So these things are inside my function. All these things are inside my function. But this
Yeah.
is outside my function.
Okay.
This is not inside my function. So that's why when I'm trying to access this, since I'm accessing this outside my function, I'm getting an error. And when I am accessing this inside this function, I'm not getting an error. Is this clear?
Yeah.
You can, if you have a difficulty in understanding this thing, just check the indentation. See, indentation of this print and this def is same. Okay.
Okay.
Both are at the same level of indentation. That means this thing is not present inside this function. This is outside the function. Whatever will be inside some function, or maybe something as you have seen in the, let's say, if else statement or while statement or something, it's inside that thing, inside that loop. So whatever
Okay.
will be inside the thing, inside that statement, that should have a gap of 4 indentation. This is this indentation. Fine.
Fine.
Now let's see. I'm giving you now I'm going to give you more examples for your understanding. Now let's see. So what you have understood here, this variable has a local variable. That means the scope of this variable is limited to the function. It means the scope of the variable, scope, I'm writing here, scope of this variable is limited to the function only. We cannot access the variable outside of the function. Hope this thing is clear to you. Now let's write another program. Let's write another program, same program I'm taking. And this time let's do one thing. Let's do write this add number. And let's write here one more variable. Okay, fine. And also write plus C and print C here. And okay. And let's write here C is equal to, let's say, 10. Now, this time what I'm doing, I'm writing one variable which is outside this function. This variable C is outside this function. Is this thing understandable? This variable
Yes.
C is outside this
Yes.
function. Fine. So I have written one variable.
Yes.
I have written one variable outside this function. That variable is C, and I have assigned value C is equal to 10. After that, I have defined one function. And inside this function, I have defined two variables, A and B. And I want to print C. But see, C is outside this function. C variable is outside this function, and I want to print C inside this function. And here what I am doing, I am returning the value of A plus B plus C. Now let's run this function. So it has run, and now let's again call this function. What I am getting here? I am getting print C. So what is the value of C? 10. So 10 is printed here. I am returning A plus B plus C. 5, 6, 11 plus 10, 21, and I am getting 21. So now, point is that this variable is called global variable. This variable is called global variable. Global, this is a term which we use. You have to remember these terms. Global variable. Why this is a global variable? Because its scope is not limited. You can access this variable outside. This variable is whatever variable is defined outside this function. Outside whatever variable you define outside the function, their scope is global. Global means you can access it outside also, and you can access it inside any function. So I'm able to access this variable inside this function also. It is not defined inside this function, but still I am able to access this variable or inside this function. And I am also able to do the this mathematical calculation here, A plus B plus C, and I am getting the result. Since we can access the variable which is outside the function inside the function, that's why it is called global variable, because its scope is not limited simply outside the function. Its scope is outside the function also and inside the function also. So whatever variable we define outside the function, we can access that variable inside the function also. That's why, since we can access inside and outside also, that's why it is called global variable, and its scope is global. Global variable means scope is global. We can access it both inside and both outside. Is this thing clear?
Yes.
Let's access this variable outside also. Let's see. I'm printing here, print C, and I'm running this again. So what I'm getting? I'm getting 10, because this is a function. So this function, till I am not calling this function, it will not work. But this print C is not inside this function. This print C is outside this function. Am I right?
Yes.
So we do not need to call it. It is giving me, when I am calling, when I am just executing the entire code, I am getting 10, because 10 is my global variable, and I do not need to call my function to get this, to execute this print statement. But whatever is inside this function, if I need to do, if I need to see what is inside this function, then I have to call the function. So here I am calling the function add underscore now. So I am getting this thing. So this is all about global variable and the local variable. Is So point is that as long as this
Can you
function,
once again this thing global and local variable?
okay, see, global variable is that okay, I'm giving you one.
Okay. I got the point. C
Okay,
is global variable and A and B are local,
yes. Why C is global variable?
because it is outside the function.
But and we can access this variable inside the function and outside the function. That's why it is global.
Yes.
Okay, let me give you one more example to understand, to solidify your understanding. Let's take one example like this. Let's put the this is for your understanding. I am doing global underscore var is my variable. Okay, and I am writing here, this is global variable. Now after that, I am defining another another function, test underscore life time. This is the name of my function. Fine. And let me put a doc string here for better understanding. This is a doc string. This function test the lifetime of a variable. Fine. Let me close it. So now this is simply a doc string. So now let me define one local variable also here inside this function. Whatever variable we define inside the function, it has a local scope. I have already explained you. So let's tell this is a local variable and put here, this is local variable. Fine. And now what I want to do, I want to print local underscore var and I want to print global underscore var. Now simply I am calling this function. Let's have you understood this? I have written very simple code here just to make you understand. Have you understood this? Is there any confusion here? Please tell me, guys.
Okay. Yes.
Ruchi?
Yes.
Others?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So this is all. Let me run it. And now let's call this function test underscore life underscore time. If I call this function, I will get this thing. Is this clear? That means a variable which is defined outside the function, I'm able to access this inside the function also. And whatever variable is outside this function, inside this function, we can always access it inside the function. That's why I'm getting these two things. Is it okay? Now print here, print global underscore var. So this variable you can print because this global variable is outside the function. So you can access this outside also and inside also. That's why I'm able to access this global variable. And now do one thing, print local variable underscore var. What you will get? You will get an error. Why you are
Yes.
getting error? Because we cannot access the variable which is inside
Not
the
defined.
function. I'm getting this error. Why I'm getting this error? Because this function, this variable is defined inside the function. That's why we cannot access this variable outside the function. I suppose you guys have now a better understanding of this thing, global and local variable.
Yeah. Yes.
Fine. So let me tell you something more here. Let's take this program also, only this program, and let's do let's write here global A. Let's put here A is equal to, let's put here A is equal to 12 and put global A. And now run this code. A is assigned to, name A is assigned to before global declaration. Okay. Before assigned to before global is. So global A is equal to 12. Let's put it here like this. So if I run this, invalid syntax. Okay. Let's do it. And let's put A is equal to 12. If I do this, okay, fine. Now it is fine. So if I call this function, test underscore life underscore time. So what I'm supposed to get? This thing, what I was getting earlier. Now print A here, print A. I'm getting this 12 here. Would you guys able to understand this, what I have written? Any one of you, can you explain me? I'm not going to explain you. If any one of you want to explain me what this is happening, you are welcome to explain. Thereafter, we will crack some jokes. Okay. No one of you interested in explaining? Let me explain you. See here what I have done. I have written one variable inside a function. Till here, we know that whatever variable we write inside the function, we cannot access that variable outside the function. But if before defining the variable inside a function, if you can put a global before that variable, let's say I want to define a variable A inside this function. So I am putting global, this I'm using this keyword global, and thereafter I am writing the name of the variable. And after that, let's say I want to put assign some value inside this variable. So I am putting A is equal to 12. Now, since I am specifically asking the Python, this variable which I am defining inside my function has a global nature. So now this time this variable will be accessed outside the function also. Now its scope become global. Now this variable scope is not limited inside this function. It has a scope outside. That's why when I am simply printing A, and which is outside this function, I want to access this A outside this function, I am getting exactly the value that is inside this function. Because now its scope is changed from local to global. So to changing the scope of the variable from local to global, we have to specify, we have to use this keyword global before the variable declaration. Is this clear to you or not? Please tell me. Have you understood this or not?
Yes.
Ruchi, others,
Yes.
Rakesh, Anna.
Yes. Yes.
So now it's time for a joke. So any one of you wants to crack few jokes, you can. Otherwise, I will. Ruchi, you want to crack some joke? Or anything? It's nothing that you have to crack. You can tell any story. You can sing a song or anything. But that should be like a brief one. Whatever you want. Even if you want to simply laugh, you can laugh. I don't have any issue.
I will
Okay.
share it tomorrow.
Okay, fine. So let me tell you one joke. So this joke I am going to tell you in Hindi, and after that I will tell you one joke in English. Because why I want to tell you this joke in Hindi, because if I will tell that joke in English, it will lose its essence. So it starts with like, तो एक बार मैं अपने गांव गया, तो गांव में मेरी दादी थी, तो मैंने अपनी दादी को बोला, मैं बहुत परेशान था, तो मैंने अपनी दादी को बोला, दादी मैं ना डिप्रेशन में जा रहा हूँ, बहुत डिप्रेशन हो रहा है मुझे, डिप्रेशन में जा रहा हूँ मैं। तो मेरी दादी बोलती है मुझसे कि ठीक है बेटा, जा रहे हो तो जाओ, ढंग से रहना, ठीक से खाना पीना, बस नवंबर महीना में छठ है तो बस उसमें आ जाना। कोई हंसा ही नहीं भाई, ऐसा क्या था?
नहीं मतलब
ठीक है, एक एक दूसरा
ये
जोक।
सच है।
let's
you
crack,
laugh enough but
let's let's crack another joke. There was one guy, his name was Shankar and Pillai. So one day what happened, uh, Shankar and Pillai got some stomach problem. So he has got a acidity problem, gas issues. So he was suffering from the gas issue for several days. He suffered from the gas issues for several days. Thereafter, he visited one doctor. He wanted to see a doctor, so he went to the clinic of a doctor. He went to a specialist, gastroenterologist kind of doctor is there, who is a specialist in uh, uh, acidity and gas related issue, stomach related. So he visited that expert doctor. So after briefing all his issues to the doctor, he told that, see doctor, I have this huge acidity issue and I'm suffering from this issue for so some few weeks, and I'm not able to find out the reason. The only problem, the only good thing about my problem is that, and I'm fortunate enough for this, that it doesn't smell and it doesn't sounds. It keep on happening silently. So this is a relief for me. He said this to the doctor. So doctor look at his face and looked at him for maybe for few minutes. Thereafter, he take out his prescription sheet and he prescribed him some medicine and give it back to Shankar and Pillai. Shankar and Pillai see the prescription and After seeing the prescription, he find out that doctor has assigned him, has given him this nasal spray. So he was surprised. He told doctor, I am suffering from acidity and you are giving me this nasal spray. What is the connection? So doctor told him, see, first I need to clear your nose, then I will start working on your ears. समझ में आया कि
Nice.
नहीं? मामा जी समझ में आया? आया ना? तो अरे जोर से हंसो भाई. ऐसा भी क्या है?
वही, मतलब
ये हुई ना बात. तो और अन्ना आप कोई जोक सुना दीजिए. बहुत सारे जोक होंगे आपके कलेक्शन में. शंकर पिल्लाई वाला ही कोई, या मुल्ला
आप
नसरुद्दीन. नेक्स्ट टाइम आई क्रैक अ जोक ऑन मुल्ला नसरुद्दीन.
हाँ, आप सुना रहे हैं, अच्छे अच्छे जोक्स है, हंसता हूँ लेकिन वो आवाज नहीं आती है बाहर।
हाँ कोई बात नहीं. तो मामा जी आपको कोई जोक सुनाना हो तो सुना सकते हैं. If any one of you want to crack any joke, you can crack. See, in my class, what will happen if at any time you people feel like saying something, anything nonsense or something, you can just ask me. I will stop and you can do that. Then after we will continue. Only thing is that you should not disrespect the fellow members. Otherwise, everything is okay. Is it fine? So,
Anupro,
Yeah.
I want to say something.
yeah, please tell me.
Uh,
So, have a light moment. After a light moment, we are continuing again. So I hope you guys understood this local variable, global variable, and scope of this variable, lifetime of this variable. So this, what I want to say, whatever variable we are defining inside the function, its lifetime is only till the function execution is there. Whenever the function execution stops, so whatever variable inside inside the memory of that variable, it get erased from the memory. It is present inside the memory till the function is executed. After the function execution stops, it forgets everything from the memory.